I'm Ms. Haven from Genie Academy, and today we're going to be looking at how to approach a constructed response question. Constructed response can be a topic that's a little intimidating for children. In this case, we have a lot of information at the top of our page that we need to use in the case of our problem. So a lot of times we see students skip this step and they'll just go right into the addition, subtraction, or other operations they need to complete. But in doing so, they don't have a strong foundation of what the problem is asking them, and they often get the problem wrong. Today, we are going to walk through how to approach a constructed response question. So I always have my students read the information at the top, sentence by sentence, and try to draw some type of diagram to help them along. So here we have Matthew is baking for his class. That's our situation. He wants to make 32 chocolate chip cookies and 32 cupcakes. So we could say his goal is 32 cookies and 32 cupcakes. We're more than likely going to use all of this information in our problem, so it's good to have it at the top of our bar into very simple language. Next, it says he can fit 8 cookies into one container and 4 cupcakes into one container. So let's draw that again. Let's draw little mock containers. First, we have our cookie container, and we'll draw 8 circles to demonstrate that we can fit 8 in that container. Next, we'll have our cupcake container. Cupcakes are a little larger, so it makes sense that we'll only be able to fit 4. All right, as long as they have the diagram, that's perfect. If they prefer to have the number version, that's good as well. It's all about connecting the math aspect to the visual aspect, especially in younger students. The last part of our information says, Matthew has filled 2 containers of cookies and 1 container of cupcakes. So we already have some progress in our situation. We know that he has 2 containers of cookies, and if only 8 cookies can fit in a container, we know he already has 16 packed away. And then we also know he has 1 container of cupcakes, and since only 4 can fit in a container, he has 4 cupcakes packed away. Now that we've dissected all of that top information, we can get into the actual problem. Again, another tip and trick is to make sure that your child separates your page based on whatever problem you're working on. This will help them stay organized and make sure that they have all the work written down that's required. So let's take a look at part A. How many cookies and cupcakes has Matthew made and put into containers so far? We've already done this work, right? Right over here. We have 2 containers times the 8 cookies that he had. So that is 16. Next, we have 1 container of cupcakes times the number of cupcakes, which is 4. How many cookies and cupcakes have been made? 16 cookies and 4 cupcakes. At this point, a lot of students find the multiplication easy, but if they're not able to understand the question, there's no way for them to do the proper math. Our second step, we have how many cookies does he still need to bake and put in containers? So there's 2 things we need to understand from this question. How many cookies? Our focus is only on cookies, not on cupcakes. How does he still need to bake? So for this piece, we need to know what his goal is, as well as how many he's already made. His goal was 32 cookies, and then we are going to subtract how many he has already made, which is 16, to get our answer of how many does he still need, which is 16. Once again, this is going to require your child to understand how to regroup. If they have forgotten, you could take a look at our regrouping video. Here, your child needs to borrow from their 3 to get 2, and then carry the 1. 12 minus 6 is 6. Then they need to do 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. We still need 16 cookies. All right, 2 parts down, 1 to go. How many cookies and cupcakes will he have all together when he is finished? So we already know what his goal is, but we have to add those 2 baked goods together. So 32 plus 32. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, and 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. So we can say 64 desserts or baked goods or anything of that nature, but we need to make sure that we have the number of 64 as our answer. As a reminder, When approaching constructor responses, everything that's on your page is really important to completing the steps, especially that top information. Have your child draw diagrams, establish a goal for the problem before they go into the actual mathematical operations. Once again, constructor responses are really important, especially when students are taking standardized tests. If your child, after completing this constructor response, is having more issues with the reading comprehension aspect than the math aspect, they may need a little bit of support in reading. We definitely can assess them for our reading program as well. And remember, this has been Constructor Responses, and every day, in every way, you're getting better and better. This video was part of Genie Academy's Common Core resources. Subscribe down below for more videos just like this one. In the description box, we also have the links to free downloadable worksheets and assessments. We can help you discover the genius your child was born to be.